Hey everyone, it's Wowous. We're here with a Hearthstone video. Today we're going to be talking about Saviors of Uldum. This is the new expansion pack that was just announced last week. So we're just starting to get some information about it, just starting to see some cards. But I want to run through it real quick, talk a little bit about it, give you some of my thoughts. So Saviors of Uldum, you see here it's about the League of Explorers with arch-villain Rapham and a band of bad guys unleashing Uldum's ancient secrets in the name of evil to help save the world. This is going to definitely go back and have a lot of the characters from some of the earlier expansions. You guys have probably seen the League of Explorers stuff, especially if you've been playing for a while. That's Reno. You know, you're going to see some of the same characters, some of the same folks that have been, sort of rotated out in the past, which I think is good for the game to see kind of new versions of those. So we're going to run through sort of this page. We're going to talk a little bit, and then we'll go through all the cards and talk about kind of the thoughts around them. First off, if you haven't checked it out yet, definitely check out this intro video. Super awesome. It's very much like an 80s cartoon, that sort of thing. So check that out when you have a chance. It's right on their website and on YouTube and everything. Come prepared. You're going to see all these different cards. We'll go back and do the cards at the end. So the new things, so quests are back. 9 all new quests. We'll talk about those as we go through them. In general, these look like they are going to be less powerful but easier to achieve, which I think is good. It's like a small tweak to the game as opposed to the quests from a couple of expansions back where there were huge changes when you completed the quest and you basically had to build your entire deck around them. These are a little bit different, which I think is a positive. There'll be some sort of single player mode. They haven't really announced that yet. And I want to talk quickly about the expansion here. So I think first off, it's available until August 6th, which means that this expansion will likely come out right around August 6th. Usually that's the date that it's going to launch, and I believe August 6th is a Tuesday. Let me take a quick look at my calendar here. Yeah, that's a Tuesday, so in all likelihood that will be when the game launches. We'll quickly go to the pre-purchase page so you can see that here. The pre-purchase amounts are not surprising. They're what they basically were for the last expansion. $79.99 for 80 packs plus a hero. And then the pre-purchase, the $50 one is $50 for 50 packs. And with that, I don't know if it has all the stuff here. Yeah, so you get the card back, so 50 packs, the card back, and then a random golden legendary. So the biggest difference is, I believe, in the last expansion you didn't get the golden legendary unless you had the $80 the 80 pack one. So I think they've made the $50 one a slightly better value this time, but again, it's nothing that's hugely different. The only real difference here now is you get the new Druid Hero. So if you're into the Druid Hero and you want to spend the extra $30 and get the packs, that's a decent deal. I probably going to go with the 50 pack one this time. I did the 80 pack, but I don't know. We'll have to see what the cards are like and how powerful this expansion is before I make that decision. I'll probably decide at the end of July, and we can definitely chat about that in a video. So let's go through the cards. What do we got so far? So we'll start kind of at the bottom here and work our way backwards. Questing Explorer. So Battle Cry, if you control a quest, draw a card. Seems like a great kind of 2/3 2-drop. I think this will see a lot of use in any sort of quest stack. It's a decent 2-drop. If it had Taunt, I think it would be unstoppable. That would be like a great card. But I think this is good if you have a quest. 1-drop, 1/1, Jar Dealer, Death Rattle, add a random 1-cost minion to your hand. It's fine. I don't think it's going to see a lot of play unless you're playing some sort of Death Rattle deck. Restless Mummy, Warrior card, Rush, and Reborn. Now this card has gotten a lot of chat. I saw on Reddit there was a lot of discussion right when this came out that this is like a broken card. It does 3 damage right off the bat, and that Reborn, you can see right there, resurrects with 1 health the first time it dies. So you drop this down for 4 mana. You can do 3 damage to, say, a minion. Maybe you kill that minion. This dies. And then it's Reborn immediately. It's Rush again, because it still has the Rush keyword. And now it's a 3/1. So you can essentially do 6 damage to 2 minions, or 3 to a minion and 3 to the face. Or, I think in overall, your goal is going to be to kill this right when you drop it. You're not going to want to have the enemy kill it and then be able to take it out. Like if a mage, can kill it, can trade with it, and take it out, and then can, blast it with its hero power. You're not going to want to do that. So you're going to want to kill this yourself, and really take out things. But with 4 mana, that's better than a lot of 4 mana spells that can't do 6 damage. So that I think is going to be a must play. And I think that's going to be a very highly played card, especially as a common. So now we've got a quest. Our first quest is the Warlock quest, Supreme Archaeology. Draw 20 cards, and you reward with a Tome of Origination. We'll pop that up here so you can see it. So that means that once you draw 20 cards, you can now draw cards that are free. So that again changes your Warlock a little bit. So you're still drawing cards, you're still doing that, but now all of a sudden anything you draw is free. And we all know, especially as Warlock gets to the end of the game, it becomes very, very powerful with a lot of those end game minions and demons and whatnot. So I think this could see an awful lot of play. And Warlock is not particularly strong right now, so I think it needs this to be competitive. The lackeys, so the evil totem here at the end of your turn, add a lackey to your hand. It's just sort of another totem. I think it will see a little bit of play, but probably more from, some of the cards that can create totems and that sort of stuff. I don't think you're going to see very many people play this, but who knows? I'm not a huge shaman player, so maybe it will have more use than I'm thinking of. But the lackeys are pretty good. I think they're useful. Yeah, but at a 0/2, it's not going to survive very long either. We've got our Shaman quest, Corrupt the Waters. So play 6 Battle Cry cards, and you get this reward, the Heart of Vernal. Your battle cries trigger twice this turn when you spend 2. I think that will be, if you can combo that with the right cards, it will be very, very powerful. Is that going to be the perfect setup? I mean, you've got to play 6, so you're going to use this card plus 6 battle cries before you even get it out, so that's 7 cards at least to get to the point where you can play this. But if you have an all battle cry deck, there could be the potential that this could be very, very powerful depending on what those battle cries are. And we haven't seen any battle, well, other than the draw 1 card, which isn't anything special. We haven't seen what maybe the Shaman legendary will be beyond this quest. Plague of Death, silence and destroy all minions, a complete clear, or silence and then destroy all minions, a complete clear for the priest. I think much needed for the priest. In terms of it, that's what I would hope the priest could do, is just sort of be able to wipe, especially at that high of a cost and a 9-cost card. The priest should have some sort of clear to get rid of enemy minions, especially the fact that it silences them. I think is going to be super helpful against some of these decks that I'm playing against right now, where you just can't seem to get a full clear of the board against them. The puzzle box of Yogg Saron, much like Yogg, cast 10 random spells, targets chosen randomly. This is RNG at its finest. I think you could use it. I wouldn't. But if you're at a point where maybe it's you pick up Discover a spell card, or you have a Discover a spell card, and you're gonna lose, you might as well try it, because what's the worst that can happen if you're kind of at that end game where you can't get anything working as a mage? You could potentially win the game based on what 10 random spells pop and what they target. Now, you could also kill yourself, so I wouldn't drop this if you're winning a game, but this could be a last-ditch RNG effort. You'll probably just drive people nuts, and you'll see a lot of play on streams and things where folks will somehow miraculously win when they all of a sudden launch 5, Pyroblasts or something. And then finally here we've got the Druid quest. End 4 turns with any unspent mana. So that means, obviously, you got to have at least 1 mana left over. You can't do that turn 1 in all likelihood, because you're going to play this, unless you wait till turn 2 and play this. I guess you might, depending on what else you have in your hand. But I think probably most games you're not going to have a perfect curve, so that it doesn't seem like it's going to be the hardest thing, especially if you're trying to do that. What do you get out of it? Your choose 1 cards have both effects combined. So we've seen this before. I don't think this is really game breaking, but you don't have to have anything out on the board to do it. It's passive. So that means, you don't have to have one of the minions down that's allow you to do this in the past or anything like that. So again, not broken, but I think it could be useful if you've got those cards in your deck. And again, we haven't seen, in all likelihood, there's going to be some sort of legendary that the druid will have that will also do some sort of choose two that will be really powerful. So I bet the combo will be there and something great will happen. But I think that this will see a lot of play. I think any of the quests over time will see play, and we saw that a little bit with the last set of quests, right? So right when the quests came out, they got played in almost every deck. And then over time, there were certain quests that got played more. And they really only fell out of favor because of the Lich King, or the Lich heroes, right? So when all of a sudden the Frost Mage Jaina was there, and like once those cards took over, quests became less popular. But the expansion that quests came out, the quests were all there was to play. So I think you're going to see that again. These quests are going to be the cards to have at this expansion. And again, we haven't seen the other legendaries. The only legendaries that they've shown us are quests. But we know that there'll be at least probably one more legendary for each class, plus some neutral legendaries. But I think these quests, some of them will be the cards to have, especially if you're playing these styles of deck. If you're playing a Druid deck, if you play Druid all the time, you're going to need the Druid legendary. And the same, I felt that way about Mage. At the time, I played a lot of Mage, and so you needed the quest to get Time Warp, because basically it was the only way to win with Mage for a long time. So you should save up your dust, because you're probably going to need a couple of these. And then you are going to probably see that the legendaries that go with these classes are going to be tied into these. So, again, I would wager that whatever the Druid legendary is going to be this expansion, it's going to be a choose one card. And the same, it's the Shaman legendary is going to have a battle cry. And it's going to be ridiculous when you can double it or whatnot. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm excited to see some of the things. They said, Reno will be back. We'll see a Reno card, I'm sure. Some of the other heroes and whatnot. I'm excited to see new versions, because every card game does that. Magic, some of the Star Wars card games, they release newer versions of the same kind of classic heroes. So we're excited to see those. So that's about it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this content. If you have thoughts about the expansion, leave them down in the comments below. If not, consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the like button. I'd love to hear your thoughts, but if not, we'll do some more videos as more and more cards come out. And I thank you so much for watching. Thanks.